Let's get sweaty.
Hey guys, welcome to another Shenmue Dojo video. I hope you're all doing well. Today I want to talk a little bit, randomly I must say, about the SEGA acquisition of Rovio. For those of you who don't know, they created the Angry Birds IP, which is a multi-million dollar IP. Granted, for me at least, it's gone under the radar, disappeared off the face of the earth, and then SEGA went and bought Rovio. I mean, fair enough, it's up to them. I mean, $775 million went into this deal. That is a big amount of money. And I can see why they're doing it in terms of gives them access to mobile developers who are experienced in the field, will give Sega a publishing arm in that way, and just some, I think, experience in that area when you consider most of their mobile ventures haven't been that successful. When you think of Secure Wars, $20 million was spunked on that and it got closed down within months. Complete money pissed down the drain, basically. And obviously you had Sega Heroes, which had Ryo Hazuki in it, and that eventually got shut down as well. I don't know why that was shut down. I honestly can't remember. But the question I'm posing here is, could potentially there be scope for Shenmue Mobile, a game app, companion app, whatever it may be? Now, this comes from a couple of areas, I guess, in that there was some discussion about this in our Discord channel. Make sure you join that. It's in the YouTube comments below if you want to have a look at that. And also a tweet from Shenmue Forever came out a few days ago asking the very question, I guess. I don't want you to expand upon that a tiny bit, and this video's idea is to essentially do that. So I'm going to break it down to three areas. So the first being a standalone game, the second one being the resurrection of Shenmue City. Yeah, you remember that one? The folklore around that. We did a whole show on it as well. If you haven't checked that out, make sure you do. And then potentially a companion app as well. And I know we have Suka Pass there. Download that, by the way, if you haven't already. So, as a standalone game, what could they use in the Shenmue universe, the Shenmue IP, for a mobile game? Now, mobile gaming, and again, this is just my opinion on this, is very quick hit, very arcadey, very much a quick gratification, 30 seconds, minute, bam, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. Now, Shenmue does have some games like that. You've got the Lucky Hit board. That could be a way in. You've got some of the betting games that are very, very quick, and you bet money. You can get capsules and all those sorts of things as well. You could potentially convert some of the mechanical mini games from Shenmue 3 potentially into like a tap button job on a mobile phone, and then have like different power-ups, bonuses, etc., all paid through, small transactions, 50p, a pound, etc. But what you're going to need is essentially an addictive arcadey type loop for this sort of thing that gets you hooked, gets you want to progress, and then you end up spending money through this. And Sega do have a lot of arcade IPs that they could bring over anyway. And I'm just wondering whether they could make use of some of the Shenmue mini games within a standalone game that's very cheap and easy to make, which could potentially generate revenue. Now, I'm not suggesting it's going to generate shitloads of revenue, but what I'm suggesting is it could maybe generate some. Again, this is just a spitball of ideas here. So, standalone game, arcadey type, lucky hit, gambling games, toy capsule games, even some of the mechanical arcade games from Shenmue 3, for example. Wood chopping could also come in there on a mobile phone if you wanted to push it and make it addictive. Pail toss, etc. as well. So park that for a minute. Okay, Shenmue City. Now, a Shenmue specific mobile game would come into this as well. Shenmue City, as we know, was a mobile game, and this, you're going back 12, 13 years at this point when it came out and then got shut down. And it was very much a sort of point-clicky adventure type thing, text-based, all the rest of it. Now, you could resurrect that project, I guess, and upgrade it, because mobile phone graphics now are pretty good. They're not bad at all. They run some pretty tough games. They run some emulators quite well these days as well, which is insane considering where we were literally even 5 years ago, let alone 10 years ago. So you could, in theory, resurrect the Shenmue City project, modernize it, give it a good gameplay loop, and try again. The benefit of that being that a lot of the groundwork's there. You might have to obviously negotiate the IP and some of the publishing around it, because I think Sunsoft were involved with that, and you'd have to negotiate the publishing around that potentially as well. And WiseNet obviously were involved, so they would, in theory, garner a fee, so you could do that. The second option with it is you make a proper Shenmue standalone mobile game. And when I think of something like this, you could do like very small story-based type things. Now, you could do it in 2D, you could do it in 3D, you could do it point and click potentially. Shenmue Gaiden is as an example of that could easily translate to mobile. That's a quick hit, 10 minutes here, 5 minutes there. It could happen, but you need to entice people in. You need to entice people to generate the revenue and keep things moving. And I think Shenmue City was looking to do that, maybe slightly too soon potentially, but in theory that could work. Getting that loop, getting that challenge, getting all of that together is unenviable. And given Shenmue's slow pacing, attention to detail, all those sorts of things, I don't know if the Shenmue IP lends itself to a mobile-specific only game that isn't an arcadey type repetitive game. I think a bigger game, it would struggle. So I'm not entirely sure whether this would work out or not. But moving from that is an idea of a companion app. Now, as I said at the top of the video, we have the fantastic Suka Pass. If you haven't downloaded it, make sure you do. I'll stick the link in the description below so you can download that to your heart's content. Basically, what Suka Pass is the replacement for the Shenmue Passport for the modern HD re-releases of Shenmue 1 and 2. And it's being constantly updated. You've got all the character profiles, you've got all the music, you've even got the old leaderboards on there, for example. It is a plethora of content that would have been lost to the sands of time. It's a really good companion to the first two games, but it's not linked, it's not interlinked, because it can't be. Not like the Passport was in Shenmue 1, where as you progress through the game, it was linked. You saw your stats, you saw your affinity with the cat, for example, all those sorts of things. So what I'm thinking here, potentially, is with a fourth Shenmue game or whatever, they could do a companion app for this. So you could have some small little addictive mini games in there to maybe generate some money in-game for you, or generate some stats, or encourage a different level of playability. What you could also potentially do with it, and now this is a bigger project, is almost take that Shenmue Passport idea, the Suka Pass idea, and use it for Shenmue 4, so that you can expand the lore through the app. So you could look at the characters, you could look at some of the history, you could look at the previous games and have digest videos and things like that on there. You could literally have a timeline of the story within that app where you literally click on certain bits so you can see certain videos, certain explanations. All those sorts of things could easily be put into a mobile game and kept up there. The issue you'll have with it is essentially it would be a free app, unless you're going to charge a very small fee for something like that, £1, £2, I don't know. So you're then going to have to take that into stomaching the server costs and everything else to keep it running and keep it live. Now, I'm pretty sure the Shenmue community would find some way of making it work if it was ever taken down, but obviously that is a financial risk and might be something that Sega or WiseNet or whoever may look at that and go, do you know what, as good an idea as it could be, it's not worth our time financially, given that Shenmue, as much as we love it, is a relatively niche franchise, although the fan base is very vocal and is expanding slowly. So while it could be a good idea, I'm not sure from a practical standpoint where it could go. I'd love to see it. I'd really like to see it. And it might be actually that they can take some of the Suka Pass ideas and speed things up and reduce costs that way. But I think the big commitment is keeping the thing online, and that will eat money at the end of the day. And are they going to want to eat money where the profit margins with Shenmue aren't great and they're very, very tight? But there we are. So some closing thoughts around it. I do think it could be a good tester for Shenmue in the mobile gaming world. Now it's more established, more popular, especially in Japan. It's massive mobile gaming these days, and even in the West it's pretty popular. It's then how you get the IP attached to it that's addictive, that gets people playing and coming back. than generating the revenue, which could potentially go into a fourth game, fifth game, whatever it may be. Now, as I said at the top of this video, this is very much a long shot. I don't think it'll happen. I don't think they'll invest in the time in it because I don't think they'll see the need to. And that's fine. And I completely understand the business implications around that. It's not an issue. This is just me spitballing ideas. Ideally, I would love a companion app for a Shenmue 4. I think if they did it well and really invested the time in it, it would be a fantastic little bit of lore for the community to enjoy, explore, and also for new people to help them catch up with the story, help them catch up with the characters, and help them understand the Shenmue history and the lore and everything around it. Likewise, if they did an arcade type game, I would be all for it as long as it was generating revenue. But guys, as I always say at the end of these videos, what do you think about the idea? Could Shenmue translate to mobile gaming? How would it translate to mobile gaming? What would you like to see potentially as well? And always, guys, thank you so much for dropping in on the content, seeing us on social media, seeing us on YouTube, Twitch, joining the streams, etc. And all the videos we're putting out is much appreciated. Don't forget to give us a like, share, subscribe on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, all the usual channels. All the links will be below, so you can come and find us at your leisure. But for now, guys, thank you so much for watching. Take care. Have a good one. I'll see you soon. All the best.